Quick Locks Podcast is back for a full national championship preview. We got the Dogs, we got the Frogs, we got our boy Shane Bartels, longtime Quick Locks fan, former UGA equipment manager and current Classic City Collective, dealing with all the UGA NIL stuff. So we brought in a good one to break down this big-time game. Dogs trying to get back-to-back, whereas TCU's kind of come out of nowhere on a Cinderella run. How are we feeling? Obviously, we're biased. We're not going to try and be unbiased this pod.
Yeah, let's not kid anyone.
No.
That's right.
Shane, how are you feeling about this game realistically?
Realistically, I mean, I feel pretty good. I mean, I think we're definitely able to beat them. Like, on paper, we're way better than them. But I think at the same time, like, beating a team like Michigan for TCU, I mean, that's huge. And, I mean, they have a chip on their shoulder, and they really want to come out and beat us too. And I think that's the thing, the pressure's kind of on us to win this game. We're supposed to be here, supposed to win the game. They're not. So they're going to go out there and give us their best shot. So
yeah, we kind of saw that with Ohio State and Atlanta. I know all three of us were there.
Mm-hmm.
After watching that team in person, are you like, this is another national championship winning team?
I mean, it is like they get it done by that fourth quarter. They figure it out. I have all the trust in the world in Kirby and what they are capable of. The biggest fear always for me is, we are obviously a national championship caliber team, offense and defense. It's always, can we play 4 quarters of football at our highest level? That's where I get concerned, and that possibly could be a weakness for us.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a 4-quarter battle, I think. But Vegas doesn't. They have the line at 12.5. It opened at 13.5, and over 70% of the money and the bets are on TCU. So people are liking TCU to cover that 12.5, but Vegas has been pretty stubborn. They've kept it at where it's at. Are we gonna flirt with that line, Shane?
I'm personally not. I think that like everyone kind of wants us to lose. Like I think it's kind of like Alabama at this point, where I wouldn't root for Alabama to win big games, even if they're SEC. But I think it's getting to that point where people really want this for TCU, the underdog story. I mean, who doesn't like to root for an underdog? But I'm biased, obviously. Like I want UGA to win. But no, I'm not going to touch it. I usually don't look at Georgia games anyways, but yeah, I'm staying away.
All right. Are you going to touch it, or are you liking the over-under more?
Yeah, I'm more one to play the over-under.
62.5. That's a lot of points.
It is a lot of points, and I think there is a lot of points because we watched 2 shootouts, the week before that, and I think that number is inflated because of those 2 semifinal games. But when we really remember the type of game the Dogs play, I think this is an under game. I think the only reason those 2 games did go as high as they did, you look at the TCU Michigan game, that's 2 pick sixes, and ultimately a 21-point conversion off of those. So I don't think we see something like that again. I don't think Georgia has any reason to be playing guns blazing. Why would they take risks if they don't need to? So I definitely like the under more.
Okay, under 62.5. I agree. I think that, TCU Michigan had 96 points. Georgia and Ohio State had 83. I think that under 62.5 is just due. Give us the breakdown of the game in terms of like TCU's defense, how they're going to match up against this Georgia offense, because obviously we know Brock Bowers, Darnell Washington. It's a very hard team to stop in all aspects of the game.
Yeah, no, I think part of the thing is on defense is they do something that you really don't see often, especially in the Big Ten and SEC, and that's a 3-3-5, 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and then 5 DBs. So anytime you see something that you don't usually see, it can make you a little bit uncomfortable. But, I think we're going to have to, we have every capability to adapt, and we always have. In every game, we're really good at facing adversity and kind of moving through that. I think that, what we really like to do is run a lot of counter plays. And I think the problem is that their defense is really set up to stop that. And you're kind of just going to have to ground and pound and take it one step at a time on drives and just be very methodical, and against Ohio State, we had a lot of big chunk plays. They were susceptible to that all year. It's just going to be a little bit different for us on offense. And on defense, I think to control Duggan, you really just have to make him beat you with his arm, not let him run. Against Ohio State, Stroud tore us up on the ground. no one really thought that he was going to do that. I know I didn't. Going into it, I was like, they're one-dimensional. He doesn't run.
Right.
But, he went out there and he picked up crucial third downs, and he just would take off for 40 yards, and that's really a tough thing, to kind of game plan for when you don't think that he's going to do it, But I think we'll have a plan in place to definitely, not let him do that. So his legs will not beat us. Take that away.
Yeah.
100%.
His prop right now, 28, Max Duggan's prop, 28.5 rushing yards. Stetson Bennett's is not as much. It's 10.5. I know that you were looking at that line.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of my favorite plays. And obviously it's not a lot. And do I think it's going to be all at once? No, but I think through 4 quarters, he's going to chip away at that. I think, Kirby's going to be in his ear. What's the point of risking anything? If we are as comfortable in this game as we all think we're going to be, if the first look's not there, run 4 yards. I don't think it's going to be, you have to get rid of this ball. If you have this comfortable a couple yards ahead of you, take it. And I think slowly he can chip away to 11 rushing yards.
Yeah, and it definitely, especially if there are some injuries to Darnell Washington and Ladd McConkey. Shane, what do we know there? We know you have some insight.
Yeah, I just know, I talked to Darnell a good amount, but I just feel like he's telling everybody he's good, and I think he's all right, but at the same time, it's a quick turnaround, a week, a little bit over a week, and I don't know exactly what his injury is, but even there's videos of him getting off the bus in LA, and he's kind of hobbling a little bit and favoring that leg. So we'll see. I think he'll be out there. He's gonna suit up. I don't know how much he'll play, but he'll be out there. He probably won't be doing what he usually does, but he'll be out there.
Right, absolutely. And we talked about that, what that can mean for our other tight ends. And I think my favorite bet of this whole game, is Brock Bowers over 60.5 receiving yards, not only because he'll be taking more targets given even if Darnell's out there, I think he'll be blocking more. I don't think he's getting the targets he usually does. But I think the biggest mismatch with TCU is they do not know how to handle tight ends near the caliber of Brock Bowers. Any tight end they played in the Big 12 were hitting career high numbers against this TCU defense. I think their talents in their corners, I don't think it's as much in their safeties and linebackers. I don't think they have any shot against Brock Bowers. I think anything related to him, I'm all over. But they have shown nothing this season. Michigan's tight end, I'm pretty sure, got hurt very quickly into that playoff game, so we didn't really get to see what they were like against these high caliber tight ends, and I don't think they're ready for Bowers.
Yeah, he's one of those players where you can stop him. You're going to try and stop him, but even as hard as you try, he's going to be able to get open.
Right, and maybe it's a couple of rushing yards. Maybe he lines up in the slot. I just think he's going to run all over these guys, and I don't think they have a chance.
Yeah, I'm going to back that up. All Brock Bowers overs. But I'm going to go with something with a little more value, and that's Brock Bowers' first touchdown plus 650. If you're trying to make a lot of money on Monday, hammer that first touchdown, because I think that if the Dogs get in the red zone, especially, they're going to be looking for him first. He'll be the first look every single time for Stetson Bennett. He has had a touchdown in almost every single game he's played in his 2 years at Georgia, especially this season. First touchdown, that's my luck. I think that's a fun bet that could win you a lot of money.
I agree.
Yeah. What other player props do we like?
Do we want to stay in this anytime touchdown category?
If you have one.
I'm not as passionate about this as my other props, but I could see a Max Duggan anytime touchdown. I think
I see why you're not as passionate about it.
Yeah, I do have a TCU player prop I am passionate about. I'm trying to play both sides here. But I do think, we watched it in the Michigan game. He had, I forget what I read, it was he had 13 rushing plays, 11 design plays where he's running the ball. And he all season never had anything near that. And I think it's because everything's on the line now. I think he's, this is playoff Max Duggan, and he's not afraid to run the ball. And he's also not afraid to get the job done himself and put his body on the line, because what else is there to play for at this point?
Yeah.
So I think he is looking to run the ball and be scrappy way more than he was this whole season. And we absolutely saw that in the Michigan game.
The best goal line play in football is a QB sneak.
That's right.
We saw it in the first quarter of that Michigan TCU game.
Right.
That Max Duggan got in the end zone right away. I like that a lot too. I could see Stetson doing it too. He's had some iconic runs this year, juking out the defenders. That's a fun one to look for, and I feel like you always get good value out of a quarterback touchdown because they have to run it in, and usually I think Vegas favors the running backs on that. Like I wanted to do a Kenny McIntosh anytime touchdown, Georgia's
Right.
starting running back, but it was like minus 200. I mean, no value there at all.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, everyone's just assuming he's going to get that touchdown, which he probably will.
he probably will.
So
And it's gonna be his last game, right?
he's going to come out with a bang. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's going to get the ball. I mean, he's been hot the last few games, so I mean, they're going to feed him the ball, and I mean, he's going to get a touchdown.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
I think so too. And these anytime touchdown props are all going to be decided on how many points are on the board at the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
The more points, the more likely that they are all to hit. I have a question for you guys. You're both seniors at Georgia, so you've been able to see all phases of Georgia football in terms of starting Dwan Mathis against Florida 2 years ago, and now we have Stetson Bennett, who people have been doubting his whole collegiate career really up until this season after he won the national championship. If Stetson Bennett wins the national championship and goes back-to-back, is he the greatest Georgia football player of all time?
It's a tough question. I mean, it's a tough question because, just what has been built around him, the
That's what I'm
pieces he
thinking.
has. But at the same time, like, I love the guy, and I think he's awesome, and, like, what other quarterback has done it at UGA? Like,
Right. At
They
some
have-
point, we have to give him the respect he deserves.
he's doing it, and I think he kind of, like, he fits the mold for what this team needs, like, he's not Bryce Young, but he gets the job done, and he does what he needs to do, and I think for a quarterback, it's important to fit your team and what they need you to do and provide, and what they need him to provide is making the throws, not making mistakes, and just knowing the system really, really well, which he does. He's been there. So I think it's fair to say that he is one of the best Georgia players ever, especially in just terms of likeness, and everyone he'll be remembered in Athens forever. So
Yeah.
I think it's important to definitely keep that in mind.
Are you building a statue?
A statue doesn't mean he has to be the best player all time. I think if he goes back-to-back, the guy deserves a statue.
I agree.
I'm hoping it's one of these. I hope the statue is this.
Oh,
The
yeah.
mailman.
Yeah. Do you retire number 13? Maybe in 20 years?
I think you have to retire his jersey, but not necessarily make 13 like not be able to get used again. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if Georgia does that. Like,
there's a few that you can't. I don't remember the exact numbers. They do have a few jerseys that are retired. But I agree with you. I think that you can retire it and kind of like have it in the rafters, so to speak. But maybe you can still wear 13. I mean, 13 is a popular number.
imagine that roar if the Dogs can pull it out on Monday, when he comes back to a game next year and they retire his jersey. Imagine that roar that he's gonna get when he like steps out onto the field at the end of the first quarter against Ball State, whoever it is, early September.
It's awesome though for me to see that, because you have everyone hating on him for the last 3 years, and he just kept doing his thing, just kept winning, and eventually everyone's like, well, shit, we have to back this guy, and he's awesome, and like, why not? Like, there's nothing wrong with him. Like, he's a great guy, and I mean, he gets the job done. Like, what more can you ask for, from your quarterback at this point?
Right.
Like, he's gonna get you another natty, back to back. You can't ask for anything more after 40 years of not having one.
Absolutely.
So I'm all for it.
Yeah, I am too. Yeah, it'd be a legendary story, and we're in the perfect spot for it too.
Right.
To be able to get back to back, knock on wood.
Yeah, talk about the best 2 years to probably be at this school.
Yeah, holy. It's going to be an exciting day. What are we most looking forward to on National Championship Monday?
I mean, I'm probably gonna go to class. I'm very academic, but
all right.
But
That's a hot take.
I know it is. But yeah, I'll go to class, and then probably won't be doing much for work at the collective, and then get ready for the game. Get prepared, go downtown early a little bit, and just see some people, have a good time.
Yeah.
And then once the game gets kicked off, I'm sure my heart rate's gonna be beating out of my chest, but just gotta relax a little bit, just
have a few beverages maybe.
Have a few bevs.
yeah,
That's
have a
my
few
plan.
bevs, and hopefully we come out victorious and we can all party like it's 2022.
2020, I know, right?
I don't want to like talk too much about the hypotheticals, but storming the streets of Athens, getting on somebody's shoulders in those streets was like probably the highlight of my year.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And I know, like, I didn't get to do it, so I'm kind of excited. But
Yeah.
of course I was there, so
Right,
I'm not, like,
upset.
But, yeah, it would be cool to, like, be with everybody else. Because it was awesome to be with the team and celebrate. Like, that was really cool.
Yeah.
But, like, I do kind of want to see what it's like with all the fans. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's a little
Yeah.
bit different, you know.
Me and
everyone's-
Taft really thought we were this close to going to LA, and we didn't for a couple of reasons. But like to be in Athens as a student, we will never be able to do again if they win.
100%, yeah.
Again, we can always
You can
use our
always
real
fly out
person
there.
money to fly out to
The next
wherever
4 national championships are
Right.
on the East Coast,
Right.
Which is nice.
which is
Yeah.
what they should do. And
Right.
like, barring a USC like dynasty under Lincoln Riley, then yeah, maybe have like a LA game like every 10 years. But other than that, keep it in the Southeast. I think that'd be best for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's kind of ridiculous that the game is out there. Like, the game starts at 7:30, right? And so that's 4:30 kick
Yeah.
out there.
There's no tailgating outside SoFi.
That is like so bizarre to me.
It's
That's
ridiculous.
That's
It's-
so bizarre.
I mean, I know a lot of people who are really upset about the tailgating thing, and then, you know, I mean, everyone's used to kind of like that 4:30 game, but like it's prime time. You know, you expect that game to be at 8:00. Like,
Yeah.
you're kind of waiting around all day for it. You know,
Mhm.
you get to the equipment guys will get there like 5-6 hours early.
Mhm.
So, I mean, they're going to be getting up a little bit earlier than what they're supposed to be for that. But, you know, I think they're excited, and just regardless of what it is, they just want to win the game,
Yeah.
you know.
I think we're all excited. Are there any more bets that we need to get out on the pod before we wrap up?
I had one.
No.
I was looking through, and I saw the AD over 36.5 reception yards. I mean, I think he's going to do it. He's hot in the playoffs. He's definitely going to get a touchdown. But I think that 36.5, that's too low for him. I think he's going to definitely get, you know, maybe he's not going to have a home run hit, but he's, you know, slowly going to climb up that ladder and probably end the day with at least 50-something yards, I'd say.
Mhm.
He's had a touchdown in all 3 playoff games, and I feel like all 3 of those touchdowns have been almost like at least
Right.
half of that prop already. So,
Right.
Right.
What's your lock?
I'm gonna pay a little respect to TCU here. I feel like we owe them, you know, a prop. I like Quentin Johnson over 4.5 receptions.
Yeah.
Like you know, we're talking about
Yeah.
another playoff player. This is Max Duggan's guy, especially in the playoffs. He had 6 receptions against Michigan, and I think he's comfortable with him. And you know, Stetson's missing his comfortable piece this season, which is Ladd. But you know, Duggan has Quentin Johnson. I think he's a big part of this game. Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
We're an unbiased pod. We got TCU
That's right.
thrown in there.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and give mine. Jack Podlesny, hot pod, over 1.5 field goals. Love a good field goal prop.
Love it.
And I think after missing, he missed 2 in the Peach Bowl, I think that he's due for at least 2 field goals, especially if we are playing a little more conservative down in TCU's into the field. I don't think we have a problem with having Hot Pod go out there with a 50-yarder, and especially in a dome.
Mhm.
I think that's my lock of Bennett.
All right.
And Dogs money line.
That's right.
Knock on wood.
That's right.
All right, let's do it. Monday, big day.
Ah,
Let's lock in, guys. Let's lock
Let's
in.
do it.
here we go.
Go Dogs.